this week, I don't know if you knew this, is the inaugural World Female Ranger Week. Now, this has been launched as an awareness week to support and promote female anti-poaching rangers worldwide. Holly Budge is an adventurer and founder of this new initiative. It joins me on the line right now. Good evening, Holly.
Good evening, Connor.
Now, tell us a little bit more then about World Female Ranger Week. Why has this been set up?
The World Female Ranger Week is a global awareness campaign that I have launched through my UK registered charity, How Many Elephants, to celebrate and support female wildlife rangers around the world.
And what is it then that you do as a charity?
So the charity started as an awareness raising campaign focusing on the African elephants and the African elephant crisis. I was actually studying for a master's in sustainable design at the University of Brighton, in fact.
Oh, wow.
And I was researching a material called vegetable ivory, which is a nut from a palm tree from South America. And it's almost identical in colour and texture to elephant ivory. So that got me researching the African elephant crisis. And I was so horrified and shocked by what I was reading of 96 elephants being poached a day for their ivory, that I wanted to use my skills as a graphic designer to come up with a fresh awareness-raising campaign. So I now have an exhibition that travels around the world that showcases 35,000 elephants on a wall to show the annual poaching rate. And my campaign is 100% non-gruesome, it's non-gory, it's non-political. I'm just visualising the data, and it's proving to be really highly impactful in terms of engagement and impact. So that's where it all began, and then through that, I've had the very rare privilege of spending extended periods of time on the front line with all-female and mixed ranger teams across Africa, and that was the inspiration behind setting up World Female Ranger Week.
Because, it's fantastic, the work that you're doing. But why Female Ranger Week in particular?
I get asked this a lot. And it's nothing against the male rangers out there. They're also doing fantastic work. To be honest, it was just because I was so inspired by the women that I'd spent time with on the front line. I wanted to find a way to amplify their voices, share their stories and raise funds for them. But also, the more rangers that I've started speaking with and connecting with, which is now over 4,500 female rangers over 18 African countries and 5,500 female rangers worldwide, it's become apparent that women, do have very different needs and challenges on the front line than men. So, for example, ill-fitting equipment or workplace insecurities or social stigma or difficulty accessing personal hygiene products whilst they're out in the field. So all of these things have come to light. So this is all about sharing those stories, sharing best practice and helping these ladies, get through some of these issues and also raise funds for them.
Yeah. I want to quickly just mention, so obviously it's World Female Ranger Week, but do the rangers on the sort of front line deal with, obviously, poachers, but what about trophy hunters? Do you get a lot of trophy hunters out in the field, especially with elephants?
Yeah, I mean, trophy hunting is not an area that we deal with. We're very specific about African elephant anti-poaching and female rangers, and that's a sort of different field, if you like. But to be honest with you, Connor, there's all sorts going on out there. I've done lots of big adventures. I've climbed Everest, first woman to skydive Everest. But being out on the front line with these ranger teams is a whole different kettle of fish, and you just don't know what's coming around that corner.
And we ultimately need to do so much more to stop poaching happening. What would you like to see?
I think there needs to be more boots on the ground. I mean, the female ranger movement is picking up huge momentum because women are proving to be so successful, not only as rangers protecting wildlife, but also as educators, as role models, and as beacons of hope. So I think to put more boots on the ground, men or women, more funding is needed. But women definitely do bring a unique perspective to conservation. The ripple effect that we're seeing of employing women, certainly in Africa, is huge. A lot of the women that I'm working with are now the breadwinners, so they're buying land, building houses, they've got access to education, their kids are in school, they're putting a lot of their earned income back into their families, and they're also easing local tensions in local communities through the power of conversation. So I think it's a really exciting time to see this ripple effect. But the bottom line is funding for training and getting more rangers out and on the ground.
And why do you reckon it's been such a male-dominated industry in the past?
Because it's tough. It's tough work. It's challenging and it's dangerous. Not only are they out there dealing with potential threats of poachers, they're also out there with wildlife that they're protecting. So there's kind of threats and risks all around them. And I think traditionally it's been seen as man's work.
Yeah. And in terms of the ivory then, what sort of wealth do these poachers seem to get, and how do you plan on stopping them in terms of earning that wealth?
I don't think the poachers are the ones that gain a huge amount. It's the sort of organised syndicates and the folk higher up that are benefiting. A lot of the poachers are opportunists, certainly with the pandemic, with the threat of food scarcity, going into the parks or into the reserves and sort of poaching for bushmeat. That's just from a survival point of view. So it's a pretty complex issue, but certainly I think for us anyway, we believe a key way to changing this is through education and awareness.
Yeah. And speaking of this awareness, if people across Sussex and Surrey want to get involved in this initiative, how can they do that?
Yeah, so there's lots of ways to get involved with World Female Ranger Week. So we have a challenge which you can do at any time that suits you. And a lot of these rangers are walking up to 20 kilometres a day with a heavy pack on. So our challenge is how many kilometres can you walk every day for 7 days? So that might be 1 kilometre or 5 kilometres or maybe the full 20 kilometres a day. And that's all raising vital funds for the rangers. You can also help by spreading the word. It is an awareness campaign. So following us on social media, sharing our posts, that all has, great impact for getting the message out there. And also, Connor, we have a volunteer team. So people that can't put, say, monetary donations forward might have time and skills that they want to contribute. And we're finding it's absolutely fascinating when you bring people that are truly passionate about what they're doing. When you bring those people together, the sparks really do start flying and the magic is there. So we're working with some fantastic people who, want to get out there and make a difference.
And of course, Sir David Attenborough, no less, is a huge, huge fan of your work.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his work.
Mutual.
Yeah, no, that was a real highlight, being praised by Sir David Attenborough, and he thanked me for all I'm doing to help protect the African elephants. So, huge honour.
Well, listen, Holly, keep up the amazing work, and obviously this is such important work as well. So the more we can get this spread, the word spread about this, the better. So World Female Ranger Week, is that what we're sort of searching for on social media?
Yeah, World Female Ranger Week, and our website is worldfemalerangerweek.org.
Perfect. Holly, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with it all.
Thank you for having me.